Feels good to be on top. And the bottom. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Earlier today, President Biden addressed the United Nations General Assembly for the last time as Commander-in-Chief. He said he'll miss their colorful costumes and the way they sing, "It's a small world after all." Earlier today, the president of Iran also addressed the UN, asking leaders from all over the world to put aside their differences and enjoy America's quality prostitutes. He then led the entire assembly in a rousing performance of Death to America. But in a sign of goodwill, Israel presented him with a monogrammed pager. Yeah. So, President Erdogan of Turkey also addressed the General Assembly today, causing one man to ask, "Did someone say Turkey?" New footage of an unidentified hump in Scotland's Loch Ness suggests that there might be 2 Loch Ness monsters. 3 more, and they'll have a show. Joe Biden met with Martin Sheen and other actors from the West Wing. Sheen said it was nice to meet someone else who pretended to be president. Kamala Harris refuses to say whether she supports decriminalization of prostitution, a position she took during her previous campaign. Well, she certainly did like trying out new positions, said one man. I know, cheap shot. Hezbollah claims Israel is dropping leaflets with a barcode that, when scanned, downloads all their information from any device. Well, maybe now we can contact Rashida Tlaib and ask her to cover her face. Finally, Bill and Hillary Clinton have presented Biden with a Clinton Global Citizen Award. Here's what it looks like. Yeah. Bill helpfully pointed out that if you lay it on its side, you can slide an intern right in and carry her like a briefcase. True. It's true. Wow. So this week, the National Security Leaders for America, a, quote, bipartisan group of former military and intel officers, released a letter endorsing the candidate they think will make a better president. And it'll make you feel as secure as a broken strap on Brian Stelter's bra. It reads in part, "We are Republicans, Democrats, and independents, loyal to the ideals of our nation like freedom, democracy, the rule of law, not to any one individual or party." Yeah, and they want you to believe the best representative for those ideals is Kamala. Yes, Harris, who shows as much respect for rule of law as P. Diddy, though she's probably a better rapper. The funniest part, out of all the names in the letter, 9 of the biggest ones, including Clapper, John Brennan, Panetta, also signed another letter, you might recall. Remember our favorite pirate, Captain Rehab? Remember how he left a laptop full of incriminating evidence at a repair shop, then abandoned it like an out-of-wedlock child? And how messages connecting his old man to cash dealings with China and Ukraine were wedged between the homemade porn like Hunter and a hooker sandwich? And how they all denied it even existed when it threatened to derail his father's campaign for president. Well, then you also remember what saved Joe's candidacy, an open letter from 51 former intel hacks claiming Hunter's laptop had, quote, all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. I think they messed up when they signed it, "Sincerely yours, lying motherless." This, of course, was a lie, and also an incorrect use of the word earmarks. They actually meant hallmark, not earmark. Earmark means how the government designates your tax money to spend like Dana Perino at a tattoo parlor. You know, on essential stuff like foreign wars, domestic spying, and drag queen story hour. Of course, since once Joe was safely in office, that cover story blew up like a Hezbollah pager. But it was too late. The lie worked. The laptop was real. They knew it was real. They lied because they were desperate to put the Dems back in power after years of Trump's hideous peace and prosperity. But that's what spies do. They lie. Ask Dianne Feinstein's driver, or Swalwell's mistress, or Hochul's former deputy chief of staff. There are fewer Chinese people in the kitchen at Panda Express. Joe then used that corrupt letter as a fig leaf to cover his withered dong of deception. Putin has done a lot of things, to be sure, but that was 100% Democrat. So yeah, the liars who signed that letter also signed Kamala's endorsement. She'd be so happy to see that, provided someone reads it to her. So they're doing the same thing they did 4 years ago, and for the same reason. It's bad enough Harris is just rehashing Biden's ideas. Now she's rehashing his dirty tricks to get elected. She can't even be original when she's being dishonest. So who will these endorsements sway? Well, just look at who's telling you to vote Democrat. The CIA, the IRS, Dick Cheney, Taylor Swift. All deceptive forces of evil. Especially Swift. I mean, look what she's done to her boyfriend. This season, he's scoring less than Brian Kilmeade at a lesbian coffee shop. Taylor pretended to be a country singer to become America's sweetheart, then turned on us like a hotter, thinner, and female Liz Cheney. But who in America was on the fence about this election until a bunch of spies endorsed cackling McKnee pads? The last time we saw an act of desperation like this was Pelosi's 8th facelift. One more and her belly button will be on her forehead. But like Hunter near the end of a cocaine binge, they're grasping at straws. And you'd be too. While the Dems are sweating like Chris Christie in a Zumba class, Trump's meeting voters and ducking bullets. He even joked about being on this show last week where our 5 million viewers crushed Kamala's massage session like Oprah sitting on a bag of Doritos. Even though, maybe I said on the show, you know, I don't love this guy.
But Gutfeld said on the show, he said, you know, I don't love this guy, but man, everything he touches, he fixes, he gets it done. Our country was doing great. We had the best economy. And he asked for an interview, and I said, you know, I'll do it, but I'm begrudgingly, 10 minutes. I don't really want to do it because he doesn't like me. I guess I don't like anybody that doesn't like me, I'll be honest. When they don't like me, I don't like them, okay? Sounds childish. That's the way it is. Call it a personality defect.
I don't like anybody who doesn't like me. That is honesty, people. And it looks like more and more people are liking Trump, too. According to the latest New York Times poll, Trump leads in the battleground states of Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. If he wins them in November, he'd only need to win one of either Michigan, PA, or Wisconsin. Then it's over. Damn, if only Joe's brain hadn't shriveled up like a raisin under a sun lamp. Now he's left his party with the only dope who makes even him look more qualified. Maybe that was the point. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He puts that Swami in Ramaswamy, former presidential candidate and author of Truths, the Future of America First, Vivek Ramaswamy. He terrifies the woke with every damn joke, actor, comedian, and author of the brand new book, You Can Do It, out today, Rob Schneider. Her baby bumps already requested a change of address. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, goddamn. And Chinese spy balloons keep hitting his ankles. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, former heavyweight champion, Vivek, what kills me is how transparently false this organization is. It was started in 2021, the one that endorsed Kamala, started in 2021 claiming to be independent. Their premise is to fight threats to democracy. Who saw this coming? That they would they would endorse Kamala?
You know, I think it was pretty predictable. These are the same people who, before they formed that organization, wanted to invade Iraq. They don't have a great track record. You look at the way they actually said the Hunter Biden laptop story was false. They've now, more recently, just came as breaking news, endorsed PDD as Musician of the Year. So their track record, I don't think, is unfolding particularly well. But I see something going on in both parties, which is interesting here, where you see certain Democrats leaving the Democrat Party to endorse Trump. You see certain Republicans leaving the Republican Party to endorse Biden. And that says the real divide in this country is not really between Republicans and Democrats. It is between this managerial class, right? The people who can't trust the voters. They're really afraid of the voters, which is why they're trying to suppress the will of them. You see that on one side versus the will of the people on the other side. And I think it's a beautiful thing, actually. It's cool to see. You know, Republicans used to tug of war with Democrats for a long time. Right now, I don't think that's the boundary that matters. It's we the people versus the managerial class. And I think we the people is going to take the cake in November.
I hope you're correct. Rob,
Yes.
Congratulations on your book coming out today. Is there any way you can weave a strong, powerful plug of your book related to this topic?
Well, I'm a little tired because I was up. I'm staying at the Hard Rock, and they were doing construction last night, and you know it was all night because they were taking all the P. Diddy stuff down. And under that, they found the R. Kelly stuff, and then they kept going. And then they got to the basement, and it was Michael Jackson stuff. And so it was a lot. No. Well, I think at a certain point, if you're being, if someone's endorsing you that is not of a good quality person, I just think you should say no, thank you. You know, like if Harvey Weinstein also wanted to come out and support Kamala, I think she would say yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they said nothing about Weinstein for what, decades? Right? The same
Yes.
thing with P. Diddy. The same thing with Ed Buck, who was then found guilty of murdering male prostitutes. They don't mind it until they're found out.
No, it is a lying group of liars lying and supporting them. It was it's stunning because it seemed to work. I don't know who it works on, but there might be like a small minutia of very dumb people who it does work on.
That is a good transition, Kat. Who is this endorsement for? My theory is that it's not for. Who cares what this group does? But it's designed for the media to project, to say that Donald Trump. Here are these smart people thinking he's dangerous.
Right, exactly. Despite the fact that they've been wrong before. I mean, I just think it's funny that the IRS endorses people.
Yes.
I mean, do they like? I mean, nobody likes the IRS. There's people who pretend they like the IRS because they don't want to get audited.
Yeah.
But nobody likes the IRS.
That's true. But, is the IRS doing you a favor by endorsing you?
I don't think they are. And also this list of people, I mean, of course they're going to do it. That's what they you know, they're the national security people. We know everything. It's so dangerous. But anybody who's paying attention to that isn't going to be swayed by it, so I woke up in a hotel room this weekend, right? Because I'm on tour. You know, sometimes when you're in a hotel room, like a different channel just comes on when you wake up. So CNN was on when I woke up. And they were talking about how Kamala didn't get this bump from the debate that they were expecting her to get. And I just think there's so few things that actually are going to make that kind of difference. I think that there's not a single person, I would say, that's like this list of spies said I should vote this way.
Yes.
And therefore, I'm going to vote this way. I would be shocked if there was one single person who would be swayed by it.
What do you think, Tyrus? I'm more infuriated at the fact that I know this was pre-planned since 2021. This was all set up by this phony organization.
They're in too deep, Greg, and I think this was brilliant because instead of each one of them coming forward and making a spies for Kamala video, they're all like, listen, we gotta justify these checks we're getting for this committee. Let's not, the money comes from somewhere. I'm sure if we did a forensic accounting, we'd find it somehow led somewhere to the left. But they're no longer, the wheels are coming off. So it's like, listen, I don't want to do it. You want to do it? Listen, let's just write a letter. Everybody sign the bottom. And then they're like, okay, just write whatever you want and we'll all sign it. That's where the endorsements are. Because, again, IRS, these guys,
Vladimir.
lonely dudes in their 50s who use too much hair dye, that group. That's like,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with those guys.
Yeah? Sorry, Rob. You know, the celebrity wheels didn't get the bump. Now they're trying to use people from, oh, these guys, they know what's going on in the world. Here's the problem. We've been tuning in because whether you like it or not, President Trump was the most transparent president of all time because we all now see the show. It's no longer the curtains and the bells and whistles. We see the show. We're like, that guy's a liar, and that guy's a liar, and then when they get together, they're a group of liars, and this group of liars now endorsing a really big liar. So, I mean, we see it now. So they can no longer use the thing like, oh, listen to what we have to tell you because, no, bro, we see the same thing you see on YouTube. So it's over for them. It's, like I said, 10:05 Eastern time. We're going to have to work November 5th.
I just want to end with one point, that the implication from this letter is that if you have security experts disavowing Trump, he must truly be dangerous. This is after he was almost assassinated by somebody who believed to be a Ukrainian asset. So that's a little, I would call that bad timing. Up next, he left Ukraine to meddle in Trump's campaign. What a transition. Crazy.